Hey guys, my name is Ryan and welcome to Overwatch Central. So we love bringing on particular players when it comes to talking about certain heroes. Not only is it a good way to get some solid advice from players that exclusively play some of the cast in Overwatch, but also a really good way to show them off to you guys. If you play a lot of Zarya, then it's good to show you off to people like Canadian. So today we wanted to try something a little bit different. Mercy has had some pretty significant changes happen to her, and a lot of players, including myself may I add, aren't really sure how to go about playing her and what should be done to get the most out of her. So today we're going over our top 5 best tips for playing the new Mercy, and we're bringing in EeveeA to get some extended analysis, not only to go over what the tips are, but why they're important. We kind of want to do this with all of the in inverted commas new heroes at the moment. D.Va's being changed, Roadhog, Junkrat, those kind of things. So do let us know what heroes you would like us to go over in future episodes, what tips you'd like to hear from them, but also what players you'd like us to talk to. But anyway, let's get started. I imagine there's tons of tips that you can give for new Mercy, but we want your sort of top 5 biggest ones, some of the mistakes that you may see from the new playstyle of Mercy. I imagine something to do with the new res is going to be up there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, one of the biggest changes is how people go about utilizing res, and the fact of how short of a distance it is. It says 5 meters, but you're pretty much always guaranteed to need to touch them. So we'll get on to how that connects to other tips later, but for now I want to focus on the fact of cooldown. Most Mercy players are not used to utilizing cooldowns, let alone now the longest cooldown in the game. So my tip for number 5 would be pay attention to your cooldown. Paying attention to your cooldown is one of the biggest things that'll impact your decision making as Mercy, as well as it'll allow you to remember to communicate with your team your resurrect. Because before you could just say what your ultimate was on for a percentage. Now you also have to communicate not only your Valkyrie percentage, but as well as your cooldowns number.
Now with new Mercy, you're going to have a lot more Mercies playing, a lot of players thinking that she's in a must-pick position right now, but that also means that you become a big target priority for the enemy. Players like Widowmaker, Hanzo might be able to make mincemeat of you. So when does positioning become a top thing? Like, what advice can you give when it comes to surviving and positioning yourself properly when playing as Mercy?
I'd say right now, the biggest thing to keep in mind is that Mercy is an anti-pick hero now. Whereas before, if your team got a pick and your team was actually communicating, it would be, alright, we have a pick, we're up in numbers, let's go. Now Mercy is the anti-pick hero. That team needs to get 2 or more picks for it to even matter. You need to be not that pick. If you need to assess more than ever before on what the enemy team's composition is, and to make sure that you are not the person picked by that composition. If you think they have a Widow, you need to make sure you're not that person getting picked, and you need to make sure that you're not that second pick while trying to resurrect your first teammate down. Because, reminder, you do not have immunity anymore whatsoever.
The memes have already started off with new Mercy going from I need healing to I need resin, so I was really curious to know, as another tip, how do you prioritize who should survive? And also with your ultimate provided some combos there as well, being able to res, use your ultimate, instantly being able to res again. What kind of tips and advice would you give in that situation regarding that?
I think right now one of my tips is an odd one. I feel rebind your resurrect back to Q, or the equivalent on console. Rebind your new ultimate to what an E ability or secondary ability would be. I personally feel this helps people get more used to the new system, as well as it'll allow that muscle memory to stay intact. So then from that, knowing who to prioritize based off of who was picked, I'd say generally speaking, your tanks are some of your highest priority because they won't get picked off instantly as say a 200 HP hero, as well as they can help protect the other people you are going to try and chain res, such as your Reinhardt and your Soldier got down. If, say, you have Valkyrie, you could resurrect the Reinhardt, activate Valkyrie, resurrect the Soldier. By the time you're resurrecting the Soldier, that Reinhardt's probably about to be up and be able to right-click for his shield. Knowing those priorities, as simple as they may be, will impact your gameplay immensely overall.
I think the biggest change for Mercy obviously has to do with the ultimate. It's fairly understandable to know when to ult as the old Mercy, wait for everybody to die on the point and then res them. Perfect sort of use for it. But now I'm sure I'm not the only person that struggles with knowing when to use Valkyrie, when Do you use it at the start of a fight, in the middle of a fight, even at the end of a fight to make sure that you can stall up for longer? What kind of tip and what kind of advice could you give for properly utilizing the ultimate, but for timing, but also being where should you be?
Right now, from how I see it, the key with new Mercy ultimate, i.e. Valkyrie, is the same key as before. Knowing what ultimates the enemy has for this next engagement, and then figuring out what you need to do based off of that. If you don't feel that they have an ultimate that is key with team wiping your team, you should engage with Valkyrie and just wipe the floor. Like, if you damage boost your 5 teammates while they're walking in, you will wipe them. Even through ultimates such as Sound Barrier. It is really potent. I also feel like right now the key is to utilize it at the start of a fight. However, the caveat to that, if you have an enemy Mercy, the key is to not utilize it first. If their enemy Mercy tries to use theirs first, they get a pick, and then theirs is already like half over. You then utilize yours to undo those picks, and now you have 10 extra seconds, in theory, to then go and get more picks on their team. It's kind of like chicken at this point.
Yeah, and it's worth adding that you know that they've used their ultimate, so your team can dedicate fully to other stuff that they may want to use. And then basically might not even live that long. But finally, as a last form of tip, I imagine this is sort of the main one that you want to go over. But from the sounds of it, it's not an obvious one.
It really isn't obvious, but hero-specific settings in the case of Mercy are more important than ever, I personally believe. With Mercy before, her settings didn't matter as much. It was kind of just like, if you knew about it, you could try and maybe fit it to your playstyle. But now, I personally believe that these settings are bigger than ever and will greatly impact how you utilize New Mercy. Some of the settings are toggle your beam on and off versus hold, or hold the Guardian Angel, where by default you click it and then click it again to turn it off. Where if you turn that on, you can hold it only the amount you want, so you can close the distance quickly, and it matters so much more during Valkyrie because of your newfound ability and distance. And from my understanding, Valkyrie is 90 meters Guardian Angel range, which is your flight, and 60 meters beam range. Comboing these two factors together, and then with your proper settings that you personally are comfortable with, is very potent and allows for much more fluid use of Valkyrie. Definitely go into your settings, see what you like, tweak it a bit, and you will enjoy Mercy 2.1 far better than before.
So there's quite a few tips there that all sort of work together, each in a different aspect of Mercy's play. Where could people see how you utilize it, and any other sort of closing thoughts that you may have on New Mercy?
You can find me over on Twitch TV / EeveeA_. I stream there every day but Monday. I'd say my closing thoughts are be open-minded, test settings, and enjoy yourself. The New Mercy is a ton of fun to play.
And that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. As I said at the start of the video, do let us know what heroes you would like us to go over for some maybe top 5 tips, maybe some top 5 mistakes, whatever you would like us to sort of go over. D.Va, Roadhog, Junkrat, all very important heroes at the moment. So I figured I might be quite interested to talk about them and to get some really solid advice from some of the better players. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, take care. We'll see you then.